You know what I noticed about these YouTube videos, these topics we talk about, and some of the fan reception, I would guess, to certain topics over others? It is that the rejected videos, these actually get quite a lot of traction, and we get a lot of engagement in the comments. It says to me that the audience out there, the subscribers of this YouTube channel, you, my friend, you, I am talking to you, the valued person who decided to click on this video and or maybe subscribe if you wanted to. That's always what we say at the end of the video on the outro card. You guys care about this stuff. You guys care about rejected trade proposals and ideas that almost happened, that were so close to being set in stone, but just kinda liquefied out as time went on. Today we're talking about another one of these rejected trade proposals that went on in the NHL, and our source today is the 31 Thoughts podcast from earlier this month. It's that same episode we've spoken about in several videos on October 2nd, 2020, emptying out the notebook. Let's go over what exactly was discussed between the New Jersey Devils and the Calgary Flames involving two of some of the top free agents we saw in this free agency period. Let's go over onto NHL Watcher's Twitter account and take a look at what he said about this episode. This is what Jeff Merrick on 31 Thoughts mentioned, that Noah Hanifin's name has been in trade rumors for a while. Friedman says it goes back to when the Flames and the Devils were discussing a Taylor Hall trade. The deal on the table was Noah Hanifin and Sam Bennett for Taylor Hall and Sami Vatanen. And okay, that is a big proposal over here. It's just, we don't really get any word from this tweet specifically on who did the rejection straight out. Who was the one who asked and who was the one who said no? Or was this just a mutual rejection where we said, okay, I'm kind of not really feeling it anymore. It's not you, it's me. This idea that we had that was going on, there was a spark earlier, but now I don't really feel it. Sorry to break it to you, but I think I'm going to have to break this off. And then the other party was like, yeah, I've been feeling the same way. Unfortunately, not really feeling the love anymore. Let's find better partners for ourselves in the future. And my goodness, I did not just relate that to real life mutual breakup rejection sequences. The things you do when you get paid to talk about stuff. However, in the podcast, it actually is said that the Devils liked the Arizona Coyotes offer a little bit more, which is what eventually went down. We spoke about this when I was at Metrotown, all the way back in December of 2019. Yes, I made a video vlogging with my friends at Metrotown talking about the trade. Taylor Hall was traded over to the Arizona Coyotes in exchange for a whole bunch of stuff. First-round picks, Merkley, Kevin Ball, there were prospects in there. It was big. And it's reported that they just straight up liked that more than they liked the Calgary Flames offer. So even though we did go through that whole mock breakup spiel, it kind of wasn't accurate here. So, let's talk about the trade idea itself. First off, yes, we mentioned it off the top, Taylor Hall and Sami Vatanen were both free agents, and one of them still is a free agent at the time I'm recording this video. It's 11/11, 11/11 make a wish, 11:11 p.m., October 25th, Sunday, PST. And I'm not even making this up, it just turned to 11:12 because you know how seconds work, they go past and time flows, etc., but Taylor Hall is indeed a guy who was the top free agent for forwards in this free agency class. He was signed over with the Buffalo Sabres, 1 year, $8 million. That's a huge contract. Who knows if the Calgary Flames would have been able to match that, or if they would have been able to keep him in general, because that is an entirely separate argument too. Sami Vatanen is a guy who has had his injury problems. He stayed with the Devils. He did not get sent over to the Coyotes with that Taylor Hall trade, but he was a guy who was kind of inconsistent in terms of his overall availability in the lineup. That's probably the biggest concern for most NHL teams out there when thinking about signing a guy like Sami Vatanen, because, hey, are you going to get a Vatanen who plays a full season, or are you going to get a guy who plays 20 games? Who really knows? Do you want to shell out the money for somebody who gives you the possibility of not fulfilling the actual playing time? But at the end of the day, when Sami Vatanen is in the lineup, I've always thought of him as a good, capable NHL defender, a guy who I would like to have on my team, especially during his time with the Anaheim Ducks. It's just, what you're getting in return in this trade proposal is indeed its own measure of value too. Sam Bennett is a guy who was on the payroll until 2021. He's got one more year left at $2.55 million a season, so he'll need an extension after that. If you don't want to go through the whole Taylor Hall process of re-signing what is one of the NHL's biggest stars in this offseason, then wait till next offseason where you can re-sign 18-year-old Sam Bennett. Just kidding, he's not 18 anymore, he's now 24, to a contract extension then. Who isn't as good as Taylor Hall, but who is somewhat of a capable NHL player, I guess. I know Sam Bennett hasn't really been the most beloved Calgary Flame out there, especially in terms of what Flames fans thought they were getting back when they drafted this guy 4th overall in the 2014 NHL entry draft. My goodness, I can't believe he went 4th. I mean, who am I to talk? I'm the guy who cheers for the Canucks who got Jake Virtanen at 6th. But on a one-to-one basis, what you're getting when you compare Taylor Hall to Sam Bennett is a complete smokeout for Taylor Hall. He's a better player, he's a better forward, he scores more points. Sam Bennett does some things properly, and he can get hot once in a while, but what you're really looking for in Sam Bennett to become that number one player that you thought you were getting back in 2014, man, there's going to be a lot of work going through to uncover that full time. However, the other piece in this trade, Noah Hanifin, was another one of these picks who I guess some people could say has been disappointing compared to what they thought he would be back when he was drafted, but honestly, I'm a big fan of Noah Hanifin. He was drafted 5th overall in 2015. He was traded from the Hurricanes over to the Calgary Flames a few years ago. 23 years old, big left-handed defender, on the payroll until 2024, making $4.95 million a season. So this is a guy who definitely can log up that playing time. He played 70 games this most previous season, got 22 points. Man, this guy is honestly a pretty capable NHL defenseman, and last season he got 33 points as well. He's a guy who I honestly do see a good long-term potential future out of, but when you're comparing him one-to-one with the defenseman that was in the trade as well, Sami Vatanen, honestly, you could really go either way just in terms of the overall talent and the projectability of the ceiling of that talent, but when it comes to overall projectability of playing time, because that does matter too, Sami Vatanen, with hindsight, is a guy who I don't really want to trust with the same fate that he will stay in the lineup as I'm confident in saying that a guy like Noah Hanifin would instead. Long story short, talent-wise, you can say that either of these two guys could be better than the other, Hanifin or Vatanen, but because of playing time, because of consistency, because of dependability, I gotta give the edge to Hanifin here in this case. So, what you have in a trade proposal like this, Hall, Vatanen for Bennett, Hanifin, to me, it kind of balances itself out. But personally, I would say that the value that Hall has over a guy like Bennett is a little bit more than the value that a guy like Hanifin has over Vatanen, even including the ice time, the playing time, the actual injury status, etc. So, to me, it's understandable why the New Jersey Devils went with the Arizona Coyotes offer instead. My goodness, a whole bunch of picks, the prospects as well. That was a very big haul. And you guys are absolutely winners because Taylor Hall did not re-sign with the Coyotes. The whole problem that you thought you were going to have as the New Jersey Devils with Taylor Hall, my gosh, that's evaded now. And you still have that Sami Vatanen too. I mean, you don't, but he's a free agent who hasn't really gone anywhere thus far at the time of recording this video. So if you guys want to bring him back, I guess you can. You guys got Ryan Murray, so I don't know if there's really a need to do that. You guys also got Dmitry Kulikov as well, whom we've also discussed about on this YouTube channel. But as this trade proposal has been written out in the tweet, I honestly think that the Calgary Flames are kind of lucky that they didn't do this, because imagine if the worst case scenario happens. Sam Bennett becomes a great player with the New Jersey Devils. Noah Hanifin just continues on his upward trajectory. Sure, he might not be great at defending in his own zone or whatever, but the guy is capable of playing in this league. And you don't re-sign Hall or Vatanen. Imagine if that happens if you're the Calgary Flames. Vatanen's only available for you for a short time. Taylor Hall goes to Buffalo again, and all of a sudden, you're just completely left out of luck. You had two young quality assets in Hanifin and Bennett. One of them was expiring next year, the other was expiring in the middle of the 2020s, and you let them go for two guys who potentially won't even join your club long term. I'm happy you guys didn't do that. And I'm a guy who cheers for the Canucks, so I don't want the Calgary Flames to do good things. So, talk to me in the comments what you think about this rejected trade proposal. The Arizona Coyotes were the winners here because the Devils were like, nah, sorry, Flames, you like the Coyotes offer a little bit better. But the trade offer that was on the payroll, it was Noah Hannafin and Sam Bennett in exchange for Taylor Hall and Sami Vatanen, two guys who are going to expire in the next upcoming offseason. Talk to me in the comments what you think about this whole trade idea. I know we're going to get a ton of responses in this one because it's a rejected trade proposal video. These ones, as I noted at the beginning, you guys seem to love these, so we're going to see if we can keep on finding more rejected trades to talk about on this YouTube channel because, hey, if you guys love the content, I love making it. You know, it's a great process over here. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Trolls 99, and bye.